Again, I didn't have to add any more certifications, no college degree, none of that. And this time, my salary is around $200,000 a year. So let's put this into context. The way my salary looked, I had a base salary of $180,000. Plus I had bonuses that were based on company initiatives and whatnot. And so my annual compensation rounded out about $200,000 every year. That's what I did before I decided to quit. Yes, I quit a $200,000 job. So how do I go from $200K a year cybersecurity consultant to quitting my job and getting paid to launch a $25 million consulting firm, publishing a book with Forbes, all without a college degree or having a business background? I'm so glad that you asked, because you are going to find out in this video. So back in 2018, right after I left American Airlines, where there I was the security architect making about $150,000 there, I went to this consulting company and I became what they call a QSA. That is a qualified security assessor. My job as a security consultant was to provide security assessment and advisory services to the clients of the company that I was working for. So I had this very unique opportunity to travel the world and visit some of the most amazing places. Kochi, India, Dublin, Ireland, Rome, Italy, Venice. Lots of places performing security assessments. Buenos Aires, Argentina. Lots of places. It was super cool. But one of the things that I noticed as I am building these relationships, I am building the book of business for the company that I'm working at. And I got to the place where I was actually responsible for billing more than $10 million a year. Right? Hey CyberHero, sorry to interrupt this video, but I had to give you this very special announcement. I am launching CyberHero School, and right now you have the special opportunity to get access to CyberHero School and learn everything that I have learned from going from $13 per hour to making $1 million plus as a cybersecurity consultant. Inside of CyberHero School, we got community, we have courses that you can get access to, interactive content, live sessions with me. As a matter of fact, there's one going on later today. Live sessions with me. We got 1.6K members right now, and it is going to blow up. If you want the opportunity to take your career to the next level without breaking the bank, join CyberHero School. Link is in the description. Now back to your regular scheduled program. Right? That's a lot of zeros. Now keep in context. I'm making $200,000 a year. And some people might think that, hey, boy, you're absolutely crazy for quitting a job that was paying $200,000. And people thought that at the time. But again, I had a couple tricks up my sleeves. So there's some key principles that I learned as I was navigating this transition as a consultant. First of all, number one, people don't understand when you are working for a consulting firm or you are actually going to become a consultant, that doesn't necessarily mean that you are starting your own business. There are thousands of consulting firms around the world that hire people that have expertise in different cybersecurity areas to go perform assessments and advisory services for their clients. And my specialty happened to be risk assessments as well as PCI DSS compliance assessment. That was my bread and butter. It's what I did over my career. So boom, it only makes sense. When you do what you are good at, it makes things easy. I don't know about you, but I like to make money the easy way. All right. So I am working at this company, making $200,000 a year, making some amazing relationships with some of the biggest companies around the world. And what they really love is, Boyd. They told me that I had this very unique ability to demystify this complex cybersecurity stuff and actually help them implement the strategies, the processes that they need to do to become compliant and ensure security. So I was like, all right, here's one of the things that I've always done. Later in my senior levels of my career, I would always write down what people say that I did well as the things that people said I needed to improve on. You can't live in a world where you just take all the good feedback and expect to improve. If everything is good, then there's no getting better. There's always going to be a need to improve. Anyway, so I'm establishing these relationships and things are going very well until COVID-19 happens. So no longer am I traveling the world performing these assessments, everything has gone online. And so where I was at the place where, I'm traveling to different countries, I'm making these relationships with the executives of other companies, I am shaking hands and kissing babies. All that is completely gone. So the industry shifted, and so did I. So at the same time that COVID-19 happened, me and my wife actually started our consulting company, which is Clewis Cybersecurity. We initially started Clewis Cybersecurity as a way for me to leverage the skills that I had already learned through consulting at the company that I was working for, as well as American Airlines, to be able to provide similar services to these different companies and actually reap the full benefit. Because let me tell y'all, like these consultants out there, they be billing, and I wanted every bit of it. So in December 2019, we launched the company, and it was a very difficult time because just a few months later, the world shut down. So what we did is we made a big pivot. Instead of me going out and getting new corporate clients, I had to make an adjustment, and we started the Clewis Training Academy, which in the academy, I was teaching people how to essentially become payment security professionals through coaching, mentoring, training, etc. And it went really, really well. So well that we had, hundreds, if not thousands of clients the first couple of years, and we generated a significant amount of money. We're talking about millions of dollars in helping people land jobs, completely change their family's tree. Amazing experience, absolutely amazing experience. So as I was building this business, guys, I am still working as a security consultant. The thing is, now since I don't have to travel, I'm not on planes all the time, I spent my time during the day performing the security assessments for the clients, writing my reports, issuing my gaps, my findings. But during the nighttime, I'm actually doing my coaching and my mentoring, recording my content for my clients. So I have a pretty stacked day, but I signed up for this. I'm built for this, right? So I did this for about 1 year. And after a year into the process of running Clewis Training Academy, got to the point where we were making more money in the training academy than I was actually making at the consulting company. So I put in my notice. I told the company that I quit, and they could not believe it. But here's one thing that I did before I actually advised the company that I was going to be quitting. I reached out to one of my clients as a security consultant, especially a principal security consultant, because there's levels to this. There's like associates, there's seniors, and then there's principals. So I was a principal consultant that had 5 other consultants under me, and I was an engagement manager to the biggest client that we had. So I reached out to my colleague over there, and I explained to them, I was like, hey, things are going well with my consulting company, and so I am actually going to be quitting this job here in a couple weeks. And I just want to give you that courtesy and heads up. If there's anything that you need my help with, things that we need to finalize, I think it'll be a good time for us to work it out now, because I'm going to have this non-compete and I won't be able to contact you anymore, right? And so I had that conversation with them, and they're like, okay. And they were a bit shook. Because guys, like I was adding massive value to this huge multi-billion-dollar company, helping them establish their vulnerability management program, helping them actually train their PCI DSS compliance specialists, providing advisory services on building their vulnerability management program. Like I was helping them quite a bit. So after I had that conversation with them, they reached out to me and said, hey Boyd, have you already let your team know? I was like, nah, I just wanted to give you the courtesy. So what they said was like, when are you going to let them know? It's like, I fully intend on letting them know tomorrow. I just want to make sure that I got all my ducks in a row on this end, and then I'll let them know. And so I'm like, why are you asking this? I didn't get a response. So anyway, I let the company know that I was going to be quitting. And, I was like, hey, I'll give you guys, put in my 2 weeks notice, but if you need more time, it's perfectly fine with me. I'm here to help facilitate the transition. By the way, guys, that is one of the best things that you can ever do if you're going to leave a company. Offer to facilitate the transition, because you always want to leave the door open if you need to come back. But if you burn that bridge because you're pissed off at the company, you make an emotional decision, you just jump, then you will burn a bridge. And you don't want to burn professional relationships, especially these days. Anyway, so I let them know, and they're like, it's fine, Boyd. We just need to communicate with our main clients and let them know, then we'll get back with you. So they had a conversation with the person that I was previously speaking with. And that's when I get this phone call that changed everything, guys. This phone call changed everything. So remember, I told you guys, I was at the place in my career where I was billing more than $10 million a year. Let me let you know how that gets broken down. So as a security consultant, especially to a service provider that has multiple business units, each one of these business units is going to have to certify for some type of security and compliance service. And it is going to take hours and sometimes months to certify each one of these business units. Now, I said hours and months, right? As a security consulting company, we are billing $300 to $400 per hour for these assessments. So literally a 6-week assessment usually would run from $120,000 to $150,000. 6-week assessment. And we were doing several of these for this one client every year. So that's very important because the conversation was like this. I get this phone call and they said, hey, we just got off the phone with the client and we let them know that you were leaving. And what they said is, if Boyd leaves, so do we. So then the question became, what can we do to keep you? And I was like, hey, one of the things I don't believe in is trying to dangle a carrot in front of someone and try to convince you to keep me, because my mind has already been made up. I'm going to do my own thing. But this is what I can do. And they agreed. This is what we decided to do. I quit. They terminated my employment as a W-2 employee, but then they hired me through my company, Baxter Clewis. So that was my first corporate agreement, was actually with my old employer. But here's the kicker. They didn't hire me back at $200,000 a year. That was the W-2 employee price. They had to pay the CEO price, which I doubled it. So I got paid double to quit my job and actually start my consulting company. And the beautiful thing about this was, since I was working through my company, I could actually leverage my team to help me do the work. So now I'm actually getting paid more money, which gives me more time and it frees me up to do other things. But now I can actually use my team at Baxter Clewis to actually provide the services. So we did this for about 2 years, which gave me the capital to actually fund my company, which allowed me the opportunity to create other businesses, SaaS applications, other training programs, to be able to mentor and travel and create programs for high school students, all because of this one decision. Guys, you cannot let fear hold you back. And all these steps that I've taken have gotten me to the position where we are able to generate this amount of money through the consulting company, but also change thousands of lives. And then it actually opened up some additional opportunities that I never even imagined. So some of those things include like being invited to be a guest lecturer at Texas Christian University, TCU. Like, guys, I don't have a college degree. I don't meet the qualifications to be a high school substitute teacher, hell, an elementary substitute teacher. But because of the skills that I've established and the communication ability and the brand and being able to put myself out there, it has opened doors like you would not believe. And this is why I'm sharing this with you guys, because I get so many emails and conversations about people asking about what certification do they get and what degree or how do they get this whole thing started, when that focus is all external, when you should truly be focusing on mastering those soft skills that are really going to drive your income, right? So like, it doesn't matter what I know if I can't sit here in front of this camera and communicate. It doesn't matter what I know if I cannot form a complete sentence. If I can't write a complete sentence. You see what I'm saying? Most people focus on these external forms of validation versus what they can actually do. But when you master the skills and you master your ability to communicate, you can create wealth like you never dreamed. But it also requires you to be bold and make some tough decisions. Biggest thing is, guys, everything that's happened has been intentional. From the time that I started American Airlines, I knew exactly where it is that I want to go. So the question is for you, what's your plan? What's your big goal? And what's holding you back? Drop a comment below. Let me know what is your big goal. I'm interested to see. And depending on what it is, I may be able to give you some insight on how to accomplish it. Well, guys, that is it for this video. I appreciate you joining.